Well, hello there. It's Jay Lovelii. It's been a long time. And I got a new little catchphrase when I start my videos. Jay Lovelii here, your mindset, marketing, and wealth coach. And we are back to lovely thoughts. Okay, I might leave for a minute, but I'm never gone for too long. Now, today, I talk to myself a lot. I have no shame in saying that because those are the best conversations you can ever have with yourself. And this is something that I have, accumulated years of not even like actively studying, but just years of information and things that I've seen and experiences that I've had. And I'm going to talk about something I've talked about relationships before, but I don't want to center a lot of my content on relationships because I'm not a relationship coach. Let's get that clear right now. Can coach you on your relationship, but that's not, I don't want to, those are waters that I don't really want to get wet in. At least not right now. Maybe later on in life I might pivot to relationship coaching, but for me, relationships is so layered, right? That I don't want to go into that. I would rather talk to you about you, get you together, so that you can be good for a relationship, not necessarily coach you in the relationship or coach you and your partner in the relationship. It's not my ministry. But I do want to talk about mindset. And I am a psychologist, if you will. I'm going to get my master's in psychology. I only got 1 year left after this one. And I want to talk about biology and how, everything is kind of mirrored. Like there are really laws of nature out here that are in play. And when we go against nature, that is when complete chaos comes. So again, I already kind of let y'all know that we're talking about relationships today. Let me take this out of my ear because I don't even need it anymore. But we're talking about relationships today. And we're talking about the mentality and sociology, not sociology behind the relationships and how the state of relationships are and what my expectations are when it comes to relationships. Again, I'm going to say this disclaimer again. I'm not a relationship coach. I am a mindset coach. I'm a life coach nonetheless. Certificate is right here. I ain't going to hang it on the wall, okay? Anybody ask for the receipt, you can have it. I am a certified life coach. So life encompasses relationships. But let's talk about the state of relationships right now. And when I say relationships, I'm talking about primarily straight relationships, not, you know, to single out or cast out our LGBTQ people because they may be able to pick up something from this as well. Because I'm going to speak solely to feminine and masculine energies more than anything. But I feel like this might be something for everybody to kind of grab hold to. But if you are a straight person or bisexual person, because this can go for bisexual people as well, because they still date the opposite sex. If you're a person that dates the opposite sex, this might be something that you can understand. Especially when we're talking about feminine and masculine energies and how things go when it comes to laws of nature. I have had this theory in my head for at least 2 years now, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, when it comes to the concepts of how gender roles or energy roles, masculine versus feminine roles, play out in the world and in the relationship in a natural way. I use the animal kingdom and nature as a huge reference when it comes to how we should uh, um, approach life in general, because nature doesn't lie, right? God created everything. So, and the thing about humans versus nature, because we're all still a part of nature, the thing about it is that we have so much intelligence and consciousness that we're not operating fully on autopilot. And I say fully because there's some people that's operating on autopilot. There are some of us that's very aware, right, of how we have been conditioned and how we have been told what to be, how to be, when to be, right? Whereas nature, it does not have a certain, even though there are laws, it's not like a set thing. Whatever is in nature, I'm trying to make sure I say this right, but whatever is in, like, the flower is going to do what a flower does, right? The bee is going to pollinate that flower and create honey. They have a set of laws that they follow, and it doesn't matter, we could be a human and tell this bee, no, 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 stop creating stop creating that honey. And that bee is not gonna listen to us. Whereas a human could tell them the human to stop doing something and they're gonna stop. Right. So we can easily go against laws of nature, whereas most other species and beings cannot. That's what I mean when I say we have this form of awareness and intelligence. But I still rely on nature. Right. I say all of that to say that I still rely on nature. I rely on what goes on out there because, again, they're on quote unquote autopilot in a way, much more than we are. So I said a lot of to say that, again, I'm going to get into the variances of masculine and feminine. Now, this is not content I have not talked about, but we're going to talk more about how the masculine approaches the feminine and how natural it is for the feminine to be approached, right? Now, I'm going to paint this picture as male and female because I'm only speaking from my own perspective. And I also like to tell people I do not care what you believe in, how you want to formulate your life. That is totally fine. I don't, whatever my view or ideals are, I do not expect other people to adopt them or to understand them. I am offering my perspective only, and it's not the correct or incorrect perspective. It's just mine. And there is no right or wrong way to be. That's the freedom and the beauty in life and humanity. So for me personally, as the feminine in my relationships with the masculine, I expect to be given to first before I give anything. And I know that some people, men especially, gonna listen to this and be like, "What are you? Who are you?" Because there's this ideal that's going on and been going on for probably centuries now that women have to more so prove themselves to men, and that's not how the laws of nature work. The feminine hardly ever in the laws of nature. Of course, there's some exceptions to the rule, but if you look at the majority, the masculine is always competing for the feminine's attention, love, mating, whatever. Think about peacocks, right? When we grew up, we thought the pretty peacock was the girl, right? In your mind, you think, oh, that's the girl. No, God made it so that the peacocks with the prettiest feathers are men because those feathers are used to impress the female. Huh. There are some species of animals where the masculine, the male, has to literally fight to the death to get the female. But then you get to humans, and somehow the masculine now thinks that we have to fight to compete for their attention and their love and their respect. Now, again, there are exceptions to the rule. I'm not saying that this is all men, please, because I know how y'all do. I know y'all love to be like, not all of us. God, I know. There is no rules. I just told y'all that. It's no absolutes to anything. But there are majority, and then there are just anecdotal experiences, and then there's minor experiences. I'm going to call this anecdotal. I'm not even going to call it a majority, even though I think it is, but I'm not going to call it that for the sake of other people's experiences and perspectives. But from my anecdotal knowledge, right, from the experiences I've had dating men, from the experiences or the masculine, from the experiences my friends have had, from the experiences of women that I don't hardly know, social media land, we all are noticing this is not just a individual thing. This is social, right? Sociology, where a lot of the masculine feels like we have to do more of the work to appeal to them. Women are raised to be wives and men are raised to be men. Take that how you want, right? So going back to nature and the laws of nature, right? As a woman, I hold strongly to my femininity. Even though I'm very masculine, I have a very competitive edge, in your face, somewhat aggressive, very assertive, go getting attitude, right? I'm also very feminine, and only men that's really been with me and seen that soft side of me can understand that I'm very feminine. I love for men to do things for me. My love language is acts of service, by the way. But I love for men to do things for me. I love to be the damsel in distress. If I have a problem, I'm going to hope that you can help me solve it. Because is that not what you're here for? Right? So my theory is that men should really be looking at their pursuit of women in the way that the laws of nature work. And then I'm also going to give you an analogy that hopefully makes sense to men that don't understand this concept, right? So before I do the analogy, let's talk about femininity in its essence. I already made a video years ago, going on 3 years ago, about feminine and masculine and all of that, right? Feminine energy is receiving. It's receiving. We amplify. Feminine people, because femininity does not have a gender. It's everywhere, right? Um, Same thing with masculinity. But as a feminine, we are receivers. We amplify what we receive. We amplify what we're given. Which is why it's very important that the masculine pours into the feminine first before he can yield any results from her. Okay? This is nature. We can talk about I could mirror this to death, even and I'm gonna mirror it first because I know we've seen this before, but we know that the sperm chases the egg. The sperm is the male part, the egg is the female part. So the egg has to just sit there waiting on the sperm, and only the best sperm can penetrate. Right? Only the best to create life that has to grow inside of the woman. Come on now. Let's think about it. All of this stuff can mirror. I can keep making it mirror, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I said that. So we're going to get to the analogy. Men are often in pursuit of women. This is a law of nature because the masculine typically approaches the feminine. Receiver, remember, giver versus the receiver. Masculine giver, feminine receiver. So when men are pursuing women, right? Think of the analogy. You jobless right now. AKA you ain't got no woman. You jobless, you ain't got no job, AKA you ain't got no woman. Follow me, okay? These are two different scenarios, but they're gonna mirror up to each other. You ain't got no job, you ain't got no woman. You want a job, you want a woman. What do you do from there, right? You start applying, right? You start looking, checking out job listings, or AKA you start dating. You start going on dating apps. You start scoping people out in public. You know, you might start shooting your shot in person. It's some people that still do it. I wish it was more people that was still shooting their shot in public because I'm telling y'all, dating apps suck. But anyway, that's another story. But yeah, so you start again on the job side. You looking for a listing. You know, you're looking at these listings. You on Indeed, ZipRecruiter, all that good stuff, LinkedIn. Or you looking for a woman. You going out a little bit more often. You on dating sites. You know, you checking out your options. You see a job. It meet all the credentials on the outside looking in, right? It got the good pay, time off, the benefits, the good hours. You don't know do too much more than that. You know what the company, the name of the company. You know a little bit about the background. Okay, you go ahead and submit your resume, right? All right, same thing. You see a woman and she look like your type, beautiful, you know, just aesthetically pleasing to you. You talk to her a little bit. You get a little conversation going with her. Oh, on the outside looking in, it look good, right? All right, boom. You send in you get her number. On the job side, you send in the application resume, and on the woman side, you get the number. Now from there, you set a date with the woman. From there, you get an interview with the job. Now it's the time where you get to discover more about this thing that you're pursuing. So you go on the interview, they answer your questions, you're answering questions. You seem like you are a good fit. But on this interview, you know what you have to do, right? Put your best foot forward. First impression is everything. You got to impress them, right? You got to impress them. Do you think it's different when you're dealing with a woman? You are signing up for a position. The moment you talk to a woman, the moment you get her number, the moment you ask her out on a date, you're signing up for a potential position. You don't think you're supposed to continue to impress that woman? All right, let's go a little further. Say you get the job and you love the job. You love the job. Say you get the woman and you love the woman. You still got to do your duties, right? But this time you're inside the job. You are actually hired on. You love it. So not only do you get to do, you have to get to do, you have to do your duties. You have to continue to still impress this job so that they won't fire you, right? But the good thing about the job is, guess what? You're getting benefits. You get paid. You get a good environment. You get whatever it is that you love about that job. You get that. Same concept with a woman, right? Again, I'm not saying that women don't have to do anything when they're in a relationship. Absolutely not. There is work to be done on both sides. Both sides need to be equally satisfied, no matter what. That's the only way that partnerships work in general, romantic or not. But the thing here and the mindset here that has to be indoctrinated, incorporated, is that you have to continue to impress this woman. You signed up for a job to be her man. You gotta continue to do the things that she wants you to do. You gotta pour into her first so she can amplify whatever it is that you're giving her. So when men be like, or masculines, I should say, that are not operating in healthy masculinity, they're not giving to their woman what she needs in order to be to reciprocate, or in order to perform at her highest level in the relationship. This is when whatever she gives you, she's gonna amplify. If you're not giving her enough of anything, she's not gonna give you enough of whatever it is you're looking for. Men always complaining about how women ain't having enough sex with them, or she ain't loving no more. And then it's like, well, look at what are you doing for her? Is she coming home from work and the house is dirty all the damn time? The kids is running around. What do you think that she's going to give you? If you are lacking in your responsibility to help her, be a helpmate, she's going to lack in her responsibility to make you happy too, bro. I know we've been hearing this our whole life. I know I have. I ain't even a husband or a boy, a man, whatever. And I've heard happy wife, happy life my whole life. And even though it does to some people or some men or whatever, but people in general feel like it's one-sided, it's really not. Because once you pour into that wife, the wife, okay, the woman that you chose to be with for a long time, hopefully your whole life, right? That's how it's designed. Who you put your finances and everything in tandem with. Somebody who you basically had to have full trust in. You telling me that she's not good enough for you to go that extra mile to prove to her that her happiness is not priority, and you should know that she's going to reciprocate and give it back to you? You don't trust that? So when men that's married, especially, say, oh, I don't believe in that happy wife, happy, what do you believe in then? Yeah, happy spouse, happy house, whatever. But women are receivers. Feminine energy is about receiving, and it amplifies what it's given. Don't believe me? Look at the animal kingdom closely. Again, I know there's exceptions to the rule. There are going to be some species of animals, bugs, whatever, that they don't operate that way. But majority of the time, the male or masculine in these connections in the animal kingdom are doing everything that they can to prove to the feminine that they are worthy to mate with. I feel like there's a disconnect. And again, before I get into that, these are my ideals. My ideals are not law. I do not care what everybody else got going on. I'm talking about what's good for me. If I'm going to be pursued by a man, you best believe that he has to give to me first before I even do anything. Before I can even feel comfortable to commit to you, you got to prove yourself to me first. Because you, again, approach me. I'm the job. I'm interviewing you. And trust me, while we in the interview process, that's when you're going to learn rather I'm the one to be given that to. I will never let a man make me feel like I'm not worthy of whatever it is that I want in a relationship when he 9 times out of 10 pursued me. Are you fucking kidding me? I will never believe that. And I know this goes against a lot of the patriarchal laws that we have set in society, but obviously patriarchy is really killing us because there's so much violence everywhere. The divorce rates are been high as fuck basically our whole entire life, right? If you marry, you bound to not make it. It's a higher chance of you not being successful in your marriage than it is of you getting rich. Oh my God, can you believe that? But seriously, it's violent out here. Relationships are perishing at high rates. We don't know how to do what we're doing because we're not doing it right. Obviously, it's a problem, right? And it's because we have shunned femininity so badly. This is why men are complaining that women are not as feminine as they used to be. Y'all shun it. And when I say y'all, I'm talking about everybody, male and female. Everybody shuns femininity because femininity, again, it's about receiving. Everybody don't feel like, oh, it's better to give than receive. This how long we've been hearing that. That is a masculine trait. Women do nurture, but nurturing doesn't necessarily mean that I'm giving you things, right? It means that I'm emotionally connecting to you, giving you compassion and empathy and things like that. That's emotional. It's not physical. Masculine is more physical. Feminine is more spiritual. And we need both. Both are very important to survive, right? So we are shunning femininity and it's been so prevalent lately, which is why women are more masculine because women have to adapt to what the energy of the world dictates. If I'm in a patriarchal, we know what the word patriarchal means, right? Paternity, papa, father, male. If everything is male centered, I have to act like a male. I got to be masculine or I won't survive. I will perish out here. I have to adapt. So no, I'm not going to be walking outside and I mean, people going to look at me and think I'm feminine anyway, depending on how I'm feeling that day. But I'm not going to walk outside in my full feminine form because I'm in a masculine world. I won't survive. I will be eaten alive, right? I can't be too emotionally vulnerable because people use that against me. This is the way the world is. This is what patriarchy has done to us. And I'm not saying that it has masculine. I love masculinity when it's healthy, just like I love femininity when it's healthy. I will never shun masculinity because it's beautiful. And it's very beautiful on a beautiful man that knows how to be in that energy without feeling threatened by my femininity. But the thing is here, we praise masculinity so much, we don't even notice it. Everything is so masculine centered and male centered that femininity doesn't even have a place too much in the world because we're too afraid of it. We're too afraid to be nurturing. We're too afraid to be compassionate. We're too afraid to be loving, We're too afraid to be the receivers of things. Some people don't even like to receive things. It makes them feel the way. Why is that? Right? So the law we are going against as humans, we've been going against the laws of nature a lot. You can look at the world and tell that's why we are in complete and utter chaos. But especially in our relationships, male and female, masculine and feminine. And again, like I said, masculine, there are masculine women, there are feminine men. I'm not talking about genders when I say that. I'm saying male and female because, again, I'm speaking from my own perspective. I date men primarily, but I'm this can go for anybody. In your perspective, respective relationships, if you're the more masculine, or not even in relationships in general. And if you know yourself, if you're more masculine and you're feminine. Me, I'm a little both. I feel very dual. I feel very equal. But anyway, I think that's enough of what I have to say about this topic as far as how things mirror each other in nature, the laws of nature. And I really hope that whoever is watching this understands that I'm coming from, again, my own perspective, my own anecdotal experiences, my own knowledge, my own awareness. You don't have to agree with me. I don't really expect everybody to agree. I really don't care what you agree with. I don't even care what kind of way that you date, how you see or view your own relationships. These, again, are my ideals and how I see how the world has failed in mirroring the laws of nature. And if we can get back to that, a space where the male, or the masculine rather, understands his role. And this, again, is not even necessarily about full on gender roles either, because there's going to be times where the masculine and feminine switch energies, right? But if we can get back to that space where everybody understands where their roles are based off whatever energy that they exude the most, we can get to a better space of balance. These are just my thoughts, right? My thoughts, my experience is a thought. Other than a thoughts, my experience as a coach, my experience as a woman, my experience as dating, my experiences as going to school, master's degree in psychology, just my experience overall in how I study people. Because I've been studying people for a long time. I study biology. I study nature. I study a lot. I love to look up things. I'm a student all day. This is just what I've come to conclude, is that the male figure has to find out what masculinity really looks like, what it really means, because there is this misconception about masculinity out here, and it's really doing us an injustice. Anyway, that concludes Lovely Thoughts, guys. I have a lot going on. I've been doing so much work. It's so much to look out for. Before or after this video, I don't know. It depends on how I post these, because I'm gonna do another one. I am going to be talking about my marketing career a little bit more. We're gonna talk more about business side of things, but I'm also gonna be talking a lot more about my lovely thoughts and mindset and all of that good stuff that I came here to do. Understand that this is where I'm going. This is where I'm going to always talk my shit. The way I talk on Facebook, the way I talk on TikTok, the way I talk on Instagram, it's still me, don't get me wrong, but the unfiltered, raw Jay, aka Jasmine, whatever you want to call me, she gonna be here on YouTube, because YouTube is like, oh, I could really kind of say almost anything. Almost anything. Oh, I could talk a little bit more about this here. Yeah. So, anywho, I love y'all. And I know sometimes I take little breaks, but I promise I will never be gone for good. Ever. I'm here to stay forever. See y'all on the next one.